Lucky Episode 6 doesn't just put John and Lucky in danger. It tears apart the one thing they desperately need if they're going to survive: trust. After everything they've endured, Lucky finally tells her father the truth about why he ended up behind bars, and the timing could not be worse. Because while John is still trying to process the fact that his own daughter helped the FBI bring him down, Lucky is already risking her life to secure both of their freedom. She has $10 million, a deal with Billy, and a dangerous plan to hand Priscilla and Whitaker over to the authorities. It sounds like the perfect escape route, but Episode 6 makes one thing painfully clear. Every time Lucky thinks she has finally taken control, someone from her past finds a way to pull the ground out from underneath her. At the beginning of Wherever You Go, There You Are, John is surprisingly confident in his daughter's ability to get them out of prison and into freedom. He hates being under FBI control, but he knows Lucky is negotiating from a position of strength. Billy, however, quickly reminds him exactly how serious their situation has become. The FBI has enough charges to bury both of them, including RICO, money laundering, wire fraud, theft of government property, conspiracy, and identity theft. The state of California can add even more charges following the violent chase involving Carrie. Billy makes it clear that if they refuse to cooperate, John could spend the rest of his life in a maximum security prison, while Lucky faces an equally brutal future. Lucky finally accepts Billy's terms, agreeing to deliver Priscilla and Whitaker in exchange for immunity and John's sentence being reduced. But the deal comes with a devastating confession. While John and Lucky are temporarily staying in an FBI-controlled hotel, he starts asking questions about the $10 million. Lucky explains that the money is the key to buying their freedom, and John's reaction immediately exposes how little he understands about what his daughter has sacrificed for him. Their argument becomes deeply personal when Lucky finally stops protecting him from the truth. She tells John what her childhood actually looked like, how she never had the normal life other children enjoyed, and how his constant criminal schemes forced her to grow up far too quickly. While other children were making friends and going to school, Lucky was learning how to run cons because her father had made that life the only thing she knew. Then comes the revelation that completely changes their relationship. John had stolen $10 million from Whitaker, and Lucky secretly worked with Billy to have Priscilla arrested in an attempt to protect him. She believed she had secured immunity for her father, but the FBI went back on its promise and John was arrested anyway. Suddenly, John understands that Lucky's choices weren't simply reckless betrayals. She had been trying to save him, but understanding the reason doesn't erase the damage. Furious and hurt, John accuses Lucky of destroying his life and taking everything from him. For a moment, the relationship between father and daughter looks beyond repair. Welcome to the Film Analyst. The following day, however, John begins to understand how much of Lucky's pain came from his own failures. After being confronted about his parenting, he spends hours thinking about the life he gave his daughter. When Lucky returns, he finally apologizes. John admits that after Lucky's mother died, he had no idea how to raise a child alone. Instead of giving her stability, he taught her how to survive, because survival was the only thing he understood. It's a painful but honest admission, and for the first time in years, father and daughter stop fighting long enough to embrace. Their reconciliation comes just in time, because Lucky is about to walk directly into one of the most dangerous situations of her life. With a microphone hidden inside her jacket, Lucky prepares to meet Whitaker and use the $10 million as bait. The FBI wants her to secure enough evidence to bring down both Whitaker and Priscilla, but Lucky insists on controlling the meeting. She visits Priscilla and demands a face-to-face meeting with Whitaker, refusing to hand over the money through intermediaries. Priscilla agrees, but insists that Whitaker chooses the location. That creates a serious problem for Billy, because the location is too exposed for the FBI to safely surround. Lucky knows she's walking into a trap, but there is too much at stake to back away now. John warns her to be careful around Priscilla, especially because their complicated history makes Priscilla even more unpredictable. Lucky leaves the hotel believing she's the one taking the greatest risk, completely unaware that the real danger is already moving towards John. While Lucky is being sent into the field, John remains behind with Gates and another FBI agent. What begins as an ordinary game of cards suddenly turns deadly when the guard outside stops responding. Gates immediately investigates, only to walk straight into an ambush. Gunfire erupts in the hallway. Gates manages to kill one attacker, but another gunman catches him off guard and shoots shoots him repeatedly before delivering the final shot. John hears the chaos and calls for Gates, but there is no answer. Then the surviving attacker reaches the hotel room and kicks through the door. The episode cuts away before revealing who the gunman is, leaving John completely exposed and Lucky unaware that the plan has already collapsed behind her. Episode 6 ends with the father-daughter relationship finally beginning to heal at the exact moment their world is falling apart again. Lucky has sacrificed almost everything to secure their freedom, but John has always been a man who survives by making his own moves. Now, with 2 FBI agents dead and an unknown enemy standing outside his door, his next decision could destroy the deal Lucky risked her life to create. And with only 1 episode left, the question isn't whether Lucky can escape. It's whether she can save John before his past choices destroy them both. Thanks for watching.